So in our property search, prior to working with David, we did use other agents, and there were multiple agents that we'd contacted about properties that were on the market. And unfortunately, we didn't have a great experience with some of them that didn't really get back to us in time, and then we missed out on a property, or where we didn't know what the latest update was, and it was very hard to get through to the correct individual. And people typically aren't in the office because they're out doing viewings, but we weren't properly entered in the system and kept in the loop. So I think that where we'd come from that, we really appreciate how Martyn and Gerrard really let David manage us as prospective buyers, and we were kept updated via email and phone throughout that whole process.
I mean, for me, I know that communication is really important for me. Like, I like to be able to pick up the phone if I have a problem or if I want to ask someone a question. And David, it was so easy to contact David, and like he responds to emails really quickly. So I think communication was what I was looking for, and I think that was definitely top.
There were no days where we felt like we weren't sure what the update was and we were at risk of losing the property, where we did experience that before with other agents. We would also look for someone who's very knowledgeable of the area.
Yeah.
And when dealing with Martyn and Gerrard, David was able to tell us about the road itself, about the local amenities, about the style of property. He also took us through the various options for renovations and his opinion on what we could do inside, which we really appreciated, and gave us some good ideas. One of the key things that we were looking for is an agency that we could trust, and having worked with other agents that we felt didn't really treat us like customers and didn't give us great service, I think when straight away from communicating with David, he filled us with reassurance and confidence, given how he communicated with us and how he communicated the vendor's thoughts, which really influenced the offers that we were making, which we appreciated, not being left for days on end in between. I think the communication was key for us. And in addition to the local knowledge and how he made us feel very welcome and explained the whole process to us with realistic timelines, I think that would really make me feel that David was trustworthy, and so was everyone at Martyn and Gerrard to give us reassurance. I think quite often with working with estate agents, because they're acting on behalf of the vendors, you feel like their needs are put first. However, we felt with Martyn and Gerrard in Mill Hill that they really communicated with us and made us feel valued, because they understood that we were good buyers and they respected us as that. And it really helped us throughout the process, because we felt like being kept updated was as important as the vendor's needs.
When we first found the property on Rightmove, obviously it had all the photos on it, but what was really good is the Matterport plan that it had. So we were able to have a virtual viewing before actually booking the viewing. But not only that, but when we had put in an offer and it had got accepted, we were able to start visualizing what the house would look like and kind of how, like, what different things we want to do to it. And then I think that was in itself really useful for ordering whatever we need, like just to plan what we need. And I think that the fact that Martyn and Gerrard had invested in the 3D walkthrough meant that, as well as helping with the marketing and attaining them more viewings probably, it really helped us with specifying which areas of the property we wanted to pay most attention to when we did the viewing, and really made it more efficient and more effective, and probably for David and his team meant that we were less likely to need additional viewings before actually making a serious offer, because we'd given it a really thorough look. We visited the property and we knew what we wanted. But even following that, once we'd had a confirmed offer accepted, we then as we were going through the legal process, we then started to plan the refurbishments and the furnishings of the property completely through this Matterport 3D walkthrough, which was very, very accurate as we measured and checked the measurements. So it was very helpful to us that they'd invested in that. And we actually hadn't viewed a property before where they had a similar software. So it's very well worth it. So following our accepted offer, there were some additional viewings that we had to book for surveyors and to have things measured up for things like fitted kitchens. And whereas some agents aren't very accommodating and can make that very difficult for you because it's out of their way to go and help you gain access, David was extremely accommodating and was there each time for us and made sure that we had access when and where needed, and that really helped us through the process and feel very confident about going ahead with the purchase.
based on our experience with other agents, specifically in the area of North West London, and actually other agents we've worked with in lots of areas, we'd rate Martyn Gerrard as top for customer service. The reason we've decided to give up our own time to give this testimonial for David at Martyn Gerrard is that we felt that he went so far above and beyond to give us really good customer service and make sure the experience as first-time buyers was completely seamless and smooth, and made us feel comfortable every step of the way, that we feel very, very confident.
We've definitely heard a lot of horror stories, and David just made it so easy for us, and where something was perhaps delayed or if something wasn't quite going right with the surveys or whatever, he made us feel really calm and reassured that, you know, everything will be fine. And so I think really wanted to thank him for that and let him know that we had a really good experience.
Yeah, and I think at times, especially as a first-time buyer, there can be lots of times throughout the purchase process where you can feel completely in the dark and vulnerable because you don't actually know what's going on. But with David, we felt completely at ease, and we're definitely one of the really good agents that we'd recommend highly to everyone.
Yeah.
Having dealt with Martyn Gerrard through the process of as first-time buyers, we'd highly recommend them to all friends and family, whether they're buying or selling, due to the great customer service at what is generally a very stressful time, whether you're buying or selling. And I think it's one of the times where communication is really key. And I think it's every customer service, every positive trait of David's that we experience throughout the process is amplified when you're at a time of stress and where people can get nervous and people are correctly skeptical going into these transactions. And I think it's where you really appreciate people like David and Martyn Gerrard.